Howdy folks, I am Miss Yalonda. I'm the children's librarian at Shively Library, and I am going to show you how to do a flannel game with your little ones. This is a board that I bought myself a few years ago. I just put some flannel on it and put some duct tape around it, and voila. Some folks choose to use a bigger flannel surface. I like it smaller because I have more control of moving the pieces and turning things over. So the game that we'll be playing, or that I'll be demonstrating for you today, is Little Mouse. And there are lots of different varieties of this game. Often, Little Mouse is in a house. Sometimes Little Mouse is a dinosaur. We can use games like this to connect stories and songs to the concepts that we're using in Storytime. And so for this game, I call it a finding game, we'll be looking for the little mouse who'll be hiding behind some shapes. And so, while I'm putting my pieces in place, if they aren't already there, I'm explaining to the kiddos what it is that they're supposed to do and what we have. So I generally start by saying, we're gonna play a finding game. There are some shapes, and behind the shapes, we'll have a little mouse. And before we begin to find the mouse, we talk through what we have on the board. So we can count the shapes first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can name the shapes that we have: a square, we have an oval, a diamond, triangle, circle, and rectangle. And then one of the tricky things that I like to do is to ask them, what color is our oval? What color is our square? Or mix it around. What shape is our green shape? Things like that to kind of keep them on their toes before we get into the game. So we'll count the number of pieces, we'll go over the colors and the names of the shapes so that they know exactly what it is they're supposed to be finding, and then we'll look for Little Mouse by saying, Little Mouse, are you hiding behind the, and we'll say the name and the color of the shape. All right, so I'm gonna turn this around. You're gonna be my kiddos for right now. Do, which is the thing that I do. All right, so we've hidden the mouse, and we'll start, where should we look first? Okay, the red square. What do we say? Little mouse, are you hiding behind the red square? Yeah, she is. Okay, so sometimes she's behind the first one, sometimes she's not. They don't find this mouse until we're on the 6th shape. But every time, if it's no or yes, we know, we turn it over so that they know what we've covered. And then when we find it, yay, celebration, always. All right, so once we've done it 1 or 2 times, when we get to the 3rd time, I make sure that I've moved the shapes around some, and I'll show you what I mean. So we'll adjust the orientation of the rectangle to let them know that no matter whether the triangle's base is at the top or at the bottom, it's still a triangle because it has 3 sides. Same thing with the square or the oval. The circle's a little tricky. But we also have the option of turning the shapes over depending on the age or the skill that you want to work on, so that the kids can or cannot see the name of the shape. So we're working to reinforce some background knowledge to help them to connect shapes and colors to the sounds that they make. All sorts of things while we try to find the pesky mouse that's hidden somewhere on this board. After the 3rd time, even if, and I've been saying throughout, you're so good at this game. Oh my goodness, and not patronizing them, but for real. Oh my goodness, you are so good at this game. After the 3rd time, I would say, you're so good at this game, you're just gonna keep winning, I'm just gonna put it away. And then that can be the transition, as I throw shapes around, that can be the transition between our game to our next story or our next song. But there are all sorts of things that we can do, and we all do them differently. The more you do story times, the more you create manipulatives or boards and things, you'll figure out what your style is, and I'm sure you'll be great. I hope this was a help to you, and take care.